One voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
It's not true. It doesn't matter what's true. It matters the story they tell when you're gone.
I keep on pushing down my Gypsy road.
All right. Looks like we got the other slackers too. Bigfoot and I were just on another channel. Dr. Wu just came in.
Yes.
For us to get them. Guys, we got an awesome show. We're going to be talking about dreams. And what I love about this show is we were talking behind the scenes. You know, we're talking about no tarot cards, no medium, just a person who has knowledge of dreams, just straight out information about dreams. Because one thing the government can't do yet, they'll find a way, is to tax our dreams. They'll find a way to tax our dreams. You all know it. So and just I want to share her channel for a second to kind of show people what she kind of does, and we'll have her explain a little bit herself. Let me see here. Her YouTube channel, Lupita Inspires. And basically your channel is basically about dreams, correct?
Yeah, it's all about dreams. This is the English channel, and then I have a Spanish channel for our Spanish-speaking community as well.
And you write books on dreams and children books on dreams.
I do, yes. The most recent one is that purple one, Lupita and Her Magical Dreams. And it's specifically so that way our kids are aware of what their dreams mean, specifically their nightmares. Because I find that oftentimes when a child has a nightmare, we don't really know what to do with that information. So it provides guidance for the family in that way.
I mean, that's awesome because sometimes we forget about the kids, right? We think about ourselves, helping ourselves, which is good to help ourselves. But we forget about children are just needing help as us, because now children are different. They don't tell you when they kind of need help. Like grown-ups, hopefully we're smart enough to do that. So it's fantastic that you take a children's book in a way so they kind of understand it, to understand dreams. Let me just ask you straight out.
Yeah.
If somebody asked me, well, what is technically a dream, even in the first place? I mean, if somebody asks you, what is a dream? How would you answer that?
Yeah, so that is that answer can be really complex, but let's just simplify it. So basically, a dream is an experience that you have whenever you hit REM sleep. And all REM sleep is rapid eye movement. So as you're going to sleep, as you're getting calm, eventually, once you get really relaxed, your eyes will begin to go back and forth while they're closed. Now, during this time, this is when we start seeing images within dream state. And then you start creating stories, scenarios. That essentially is a dream. But not everybody has images within dreams. Some people experience it in a form of sounds for people that maybe have never been able to see before. Other people picture like a complete storyline. And then you have those other folks that just have random bits and pieces that go into their dreams. So everybody's dream is is going to look a little bit different. And that's why I really like to talk about them, because you get to learn so much about each person just by them describing their dream to you.
But is there a reason why sometimes you wake up in the morning, you can remember a full dream, but sometimes you wake up, you know you had a dream, but you just can't remember? Is there something like telling you it's not that important to remember in the first place? Or is there a trick for me to dig in there and try to bring that dream out?
Yes, so there are definitely tricks, but this is the thing. Whenever you do remember your dreams, let's say that you're one of those people that you wake up and you always remember your dream. When that happens, that's letting us know that you're really connected to yourself and you're really conscious and aware of things that are going on in waking state. Now, the reason we say this is because whenever you're interacting with people in waking state, essentially, yes, you're talking to them, but you're also feeling their energy with their body movement, with everything that they're doing. So yourself is capturing this. Whenever you go to sleep at night, it comes up in a really dramatic way. So if you're connected to yourself in that way, mind, body, soul, you're going to grab all of this information. But now, let's say that during the day, you're not really paying attention and we find ourselves on our phones a lot and getting very easily distracted. Well, you may not remember your dream as easily as somebody who is being more aware. So one of the things that I really like to focus on is being conscious in the waking state, because the more conscious we are here, the more conscious we're going to be in dream state. And that takes us to lucid dreams, those dreams where you actually get to move, explore, and do those really cool things, which we'll get into later, but I just want to mention that too.
Nice.
No, that's awesome. And Connor, if you guys got something right out the bat, you want dreams, ask away too.
Have you ever seen the movie Waking Life?
Waking Life? No, I haven't. Is it on Netflix or something?
I'm not sure, but I could definitely send you a link. I'm a streamer, so I'll find it. But it's written by Richard Linklater, the guy that made Dazed and Confused, and he's really big on dialogue. But Waking Life is about falling into a dream, and this guy just walks around the city having all these philosophical conversations and challenging encounters, and it's all a dream, and it's really cool and metaphysical. So it'd be right up your alley. And a lot of people take psychedelics and then watch that, and it really puts them in a dreamlike state when they're awake. So I love that. As you know, dreaming takes place when you're awake too. At least you have to put in the groundwork to have the control in your dreams. Just like lucid dreaming, it's not like you just tap right into it. It takes years of training, and just like martial arts or Buddhist monks, beginning to levitate, to have some insight to your dreams 1,000,000%. And I've worked hard in some avenues of my life to get clear and have some control of my dreams, but then you get hit and broken down, and you don't know where you're sleeping at night. So I feel like my journey of dreams has gone a roller coaster, and everything needs to find balance 100%.
Absolutely. And what's really cool that you mentioned that when you were talking about the movie, and I haven't seen it, but you're saying that this person is experiencing waking state and essentially feeling like they're dreaming. Well, this is what happens. Okay. When you become really aware of your dreams, you will actually have moments in waking state where you're going to be like, oh my gosh, am I dreaming right now? Because you're going to be like so into it. So for example, if you've ever had a lucid dream, you're finally aware that you're dreaming. And when that happens, there's like this excitement within you, and you start really like looking around and really focusing on things. Well, sometimes that will happen in waking state, and that can mess with people at times. So just stay cool with it. All that means is that you're being really conscious and aware in waking. And one of the cool things here is because, whenever you practice creating things in dream state, the more that you create, the more that you explore, that's how much easier it's going to be for you in waking, because you've been practicing it at your deepest level anyway. So that's something also worth mentioning.
Awesome. We got our first question in the chat. And thanks, Amber. I told people put it in all caps so I can see it. And if I do miss it, just re-put it in the chat again.
It helps me out too.
Yeah, she wrote, do you believe all dreams mean something or have a message?
I do. And let me tell you why. Because, so many of our dreamers sometimes say, well, Carolina, I'm just getting a bunch of jumbled up things and I have no idea what they mean. I think that it doesn't mean anything. But you know what? Whenever you have a dream and you feel confusion in it, that's still a feeling, right? We're feeling confused and we're seeing a whole bunch of images that don't make sense. So even when that happens, that's a reflection of the self. So what we can do as dreamers is reflect this information to waking and ask ourselves, what am I doing right now in waking state that I'm feeling so confused? I'm feeling like everything is not in line with me, right? And when you can pinpoint that, sometimes it's your life in general, sometimes it's things in the family, right? You can pinpoint a situation, but essentially even the dreams that seem confusing and seem like they don't make sense, they're just reflecting how you're really living waking state. So really it's just a loving alert for us.
Okay. Now this is kind of an interesting question, I guess. So what food induces the best dreams? Is there
actually
food
a good
that
question.
can do that?
Yeah. So okay. So you can eat certain foods, but the thing here is, sometimes people will ask, what food can I eat? What teas can I drink? What are those things that I can consume so that I can dream better? And really, the honest answer is you don't want to depend on anything that you have to eat or drink. What you want to do is start practicing being more mindful in waking state. And this is not an answer people want, because they're like, no, I just want to eat something and have those dreams. I just want to be able to, take this in and experience it. But the more that we're aware of waking state, so for example, let's say that we practice meditation, okay? Let's say we start doing that in waking. Whenever we do more of that, that's going to help you have more dreams, and also more peaceful dreams and more lucid dreams. Now, some people are probably like, I don't like to meditate. There are different practices that you can do. There's a very simple practice. It's called a practice of focus. All you do is you grab an object, any object. I've got a highlighter. You take a moment and you focus on this object while you breathe deeply with yourself. All you're doing is taking a moment to really relax the brain, relax the self, and connect on just one thing. That practice is going to essentially help you stay focused. And then in dream state, you will have that same initial feeling and be able to have a longer dream and also recall the dream. So I wouldn't recommend that you eat a particular thing, but I will say this. It's important to have a bedtime routine. So for example, you'll notice I am drinking some tea. This is chamomile and lavender tea. This is going to help me relax. It's going to help me get into bed and just really have a nice restful sleep. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to depend on it, but you do want to have things around you that help make you more relaxed, right? So the last thing I'll say, because I can talk about this for a long time, is if you do want to add a different kind of food to your diet that's going to help you sleep, I recommend really not necessarily food, but I do recommend teas, specifically chamomile and lavender. And there's one that's called lavanda. It's a Spanish tea. I'm not sure what it is in English, but I can send that to folks if you're interested as well.
If I say this word wrong, I apologize, because Big Willie wrote, do binaural beats help for beginners? Hopefully I said that right.
I think you did say that right. I've read about it. So what those are, from what I understand, it's this sound kind of therapy, right? And it's placed in both ears, and the particular rhythm is supposed to help relax you. It's supposed to help induce some kind of almost meditative state. And, not that this helps directly, it's really up to the person. Some people find that meditating works. Some people find that focus practice, this kind of sound therapy, I know has worked for other people, but really you have to find the thing that is best for you. So one of the things that people want is like that one answer, like, what is that one thing that I'm going to do to have those dreams? And well, it's like everything else, right? We have to take an opportunity, practice some different things, and see what sticks with us. Because for me, I can tell you that doesn't work. I've tried it, and for me, it's more disruptive for the self. So for me, it doesn't work, but I do have a couple of friends that use that. So you've got to try it out yourself.
You're so right. I was watching this documentary. It was actually a rock and roll heavy metal documentary throughout the generations. But the guy during this documentary went to a college for a study. And they took some heavy metal kids, right? And they playing classical music. And they couldn't sleep. They could not sleep. They could not relax. And they were playing thrash metal to them, and they slept like a baby. And you wouldn't think that, right? You're thinking louder noise, louder this.
Yeah.
You can't sleep. But for these people, that was their frequency. That was their way to sleep.
They listened to Cookie Monster rock and they fell asleep?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. They did a study, and it showed they slept like a baby. And when they did classical, they did not.
You know what? That is really true. One of my nieces, my sister used to drive her in the car with the music up really loud, and that's how she would sleep. I have no idea how that worked for her, but that's what she did with that one child. I always thought it was very strange, but you're right. Everybody has something different that they react well to, so you got to try it.
Here's a weird question. It was in the chat. Somebody wrote, how about weed? What effect on dreams that marijuana could have? Maybe Bob can answer that one. But can marijuana relax you enough to maybe you have a better state of a dream, or is that just fluff?
So I can tell you from experience, it can relax you, but again, it really depends, right? It depends on the strain. Sometimes you think that a particular one is going to relax you and mellow you out, and what happens? you end up getting super anxious and like paranoid. So you don't get that deep sleep that you need.
Correct.
And right. So you've got to be really careful what kinds you're getting and making sure that it reacts well to your body.
Be careful.
Yes. So I don't recommend that. I'm one of those people that I really value the connection with the self, mind, body, soul, right? And I think that is so powerful within itself that we really need to treasure that. So much of the time we want that thing to drink, that thing to take in, like we talked about earlier. And it's so much easier than that. It's just that connection with the self. Sometimes less is more. And that's what I find with dreams.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you. People ask me about that with marijuana. I'm a advocate for it. I said, well, you can't. You're going to dream. I said, congratulations. You're going to go really deep. But as a smoker, you're not going to remember it. I'm like, well, no. I get it. You're going to go into it, but you're not going to remember it. It does cause short-term memory loss. And it's just a fact. Doesn't mean on a long scale in the middle of the afternoon, you're having ideas, you're working up great things, you're coming up with literature, all the fun things you could have if you're indulging. But if you're going to use it for sleep, you're not going to remember. Flat out.
Here's a good one.
Yeah.
What about the wild dreams PPL get from patches to quit smoking? So when people try to quit smoking, they put those patches on.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's causing wild dreams. Is there a connection to that?
Absolutely. And it's not just the patches. It's, different prescription medications that we take. A lot of the times you'll see on there may cause nightmares, may cause night terrors, right? So the thing that really sucks about that is that sometimes we need that medication for other reasons, but it will mess with our dreams in one way or another. So the dreams that you get with that, they're almost tainted, is what I would say, because, that medication is going to help you react in a different way. And again, sometimes it may cause anxiousness. Sometimes it can cause extra worry. So those things that maybe concerned you in waking state, they're going to be even more dramatic and they will be confusing, right? They won't make as much sense as if you're not having the patch and as if you're clean without the medication. And again, that's really tough to say because sometimes we do need to take that medication. So I'm not advocating for you getting rid of it, but I just want folks to be aware that if you take it, your dreams are going to be a little different with patches and certain medications.
I have to agree with
awesome.
that.
I forgot to thank you because last time you were on about a year and a half ago, a couple buddies of mine of Dr. Wu, they're veterans and they have some PTSD, and they said after listening to you, they actually listened to you, they watched some of your videos, and it helped them.
Yeah,
relax because a lot of veterans, not just veterans, a lot of people have PTSD, and it's hard to deal with it. So if people in the chat is here for the first time, never even saw that video, probably most of you haven't. If somebody does come to you like saying, "Hey, I got some PTSD, I have a lot of nightmares," is there something they can start practicing, trying to calm that down?
Absolutely. So one of the things is that whenever there's PTSD, it's very difficult to say, okay, let's stop those nightmares, right? It's difficult to stop them. And oftentimes that's what people want. They're like, I just want the nightmares to stop. What we need to do is we need to be proactive about this, right? So one of the things that you can start off doing is having your bedtime routine. Do whatever it is that you need to do to chill, to mellow out, drink your tea, do some stretches, etc. Get yourself to sleep. Let's say that you still wake up with a nightmare. So you wake up, you're sweating, you're terrified. One of the things that you do before you even open your eyes, keep your eyes closed, put your hands over your heart like this, and start breathing deeply with your tummy, okay? If you notice your chest is increasing like this, make sure to put more attention on breathing with your belly. Now, the reason that we want to do this is because whenever you take deep breaths with that lower part of your belly, it automatically starts relaxing you. And this can be whenever you're having a nightmare. This could be even if you get a panic attack in waking state. Do that practice. And again, if the chest goes up, focus again on the belly. Do this until you can calm yourself down and then open your eyes. One of the things that people do so often is they wake up from a night terror or a nightmare and they automatically open their eyes and like, oh no, and they get up and sometimes they start their day like that. What we do when we start our day like that is essentially we're accepting all of that fear and we're beginning the day on that footing, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's very important. Yeah, we got to let it go. And the more you practice, I'll tell you, the first couple of times it's going to be challenging, but the more you practice breathing with yourself and allowing that fear to go, then you're going to be able not only to be in more loving energy, but then you can look at the dream for what it is. Okay. You can look at the scenario, look at what was going on in the dream, and bring some solution to it. What happens is when you wake up with a nightmare and you look at it with fear, all you're going to do is grow that fear within, and you're going to be afraid of this connection. And that connection is a connection with the self. So that's why we move to loving energy, and then we look at it, and then we understand what it means. And the last thing I'll say, once we understand what it means, then we can be proactive about it in waking state, because it's going to give you an insight onto what is really bothering you deeply that you haven't dealt with yet.
Okay, now people in the chat, there's 3 questions I already have here. So let's get through the 3 questions, people, and then hold off on your questions. The first question is from BF Bud. And then maybe this is more paranormal. I don't know. But BF Bud wrote, what does she think it means if a person has the same 1 or 2 dreams their whole life?
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's a repetitive dream, okay? And if you're only having those 1 or 2 dreams, there's something that person is missing. So for example, whatever it is that you're seeing in the dream, obviously take note of that, but then ask yourself, what am I feeling during this experience, okay? We've got to get an understanding of this dream, because it keeps coming over and over and over again, because we're missing information and we haven't changed anything in waking state. Whenever you have a dream like this, and you don't learn from it, you're going to keep making the same mistakes, the same kinds of things in waking, because you haven't acknowledged what you need to fix or work on. So it's important that they take a moment to reflect on that.
So like really dive in, kind of do some research of what's it about, origin. That's awesome. And,
yes.
Florida, Matt,
oh no, are we losing Eric?
We're losing him.
What does she think about people who dream walk?
Yeah. So people, I think what they mean is like sleepwalking, I'm assuming, right? Okay.
Sleepwalking, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So it varies for people, right? Oftentimes we hear this happening more in children, but whenever this happens, oftentimes this is associated actually with a fearful experience. Okay. So if the person is dealing with things that cause them fear, cause them anxiety, oftentimes the body will react by actually moving. So for usually what will happen is the person will be sleeping and, you jump a little, you do things like that. But for a person that's sleepwalking, they legit will get up, start moving around, start moving things and all of that. And what happens there too is it's letting us know that the connection with the dream world is very strong, which is a very good thing. But oftentimes the walking and everything comes from anxieties and worries underneath that. So we want to understand what's going on. One of the things that the person can do is if they do sleepwalk, what is it that's going on in dream state? What are they thinking? What are they visualizing? And what are they feeling? That's going to help us determine what are those worries and concerns that person still needs to work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sleepwalk. Well, I used to sleep. I don't sleepwalk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep sit up. And that's common and it's getting worse, but I sleep sit up. So I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm sitting up. And I'm like, no, man, I got to stop. Or sometimes I'll sleep sitting up. And the next thing you know, I'm smashing myself against the wall because your body gives, what I'm talking about. Your body gives up to go back to sleep. I'm sitting up. So I'll fall forward and smash into things. So I have to make sure there's nothing around the bed where I'm at. I'm like, because I'll wake up sleep sitting up. I'm like, I got to make sure it's all clear where I fall.
And when this happens to you, do you remember what is going on within the dream? Is there anything you can remember?
Yeah, I got a lot of dreams. I get a lot of wild ones, and I do write them down.
Oh, good.
Because I've been through what you talked about before, and which is part of therapy, and you write them down. That way you remember the next day. I have a short-term memory, so I don't remember anything. So I have to write them down immediately, and then the next day I get up, I look at my notebook, what happened the day before. Okay, all this happened. I got to remember. I got to have bullets to remember what happened the day before. So I have like you said, it's an anxiety. I don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to remember something important, and I'm up, ready to write it down, possibly. Again, you're exactly correct, because there is an anxiety there. I'm going to not remember something. It's important. So I'm over anxious to either remember the dream or what happened that day that was important. So I'll go to bed, tuck the blankets in. I'll put on some Art Bell for some background conversation or some physicist that talked about some weird thing. I've a couple good guys out there. And then I'll wake up and I'm sitting up. I'm like, and I'm falling over. I go, okay, I'm sitting up. Damn it, go back to bed. Back in the blanket.
Okay, and now when that happens though, do you automatically rush back into bed? You don't do anything, you just rush back into bed?
I check my notebook. I have a notebook I keep at a distance away from so I don't smash my head against this little table, but I have a notebook and I'll check the notebook. Or as a grown man, I would go to the bathroom. Okay. And I hate to say this, I don't recommend this, but I get up and I have a cigarette. Don't smoke and do this.
Okay. And that's you're absolutely right, and that's dangerous because, like you said, sometimes you don't remember, some of the short-term things, and also you do sleeps and sit up. But what I'll say is this: what you should do is next time that happens, if you catch yourself sitting up, instead of automatically trying to like rush off and do something, take a moment and just breathe and remind yourself, I'm here, I'm okay, I don't have to rush, because you know what? If the dream leaves you, it's okay. It really is. We want to make sure that you're safe, right? Yeah. So just chill, be with yourself for a bit. And I know it sounds cheesy, like, okay,
no,
sure.
It's not.
But it helps. I promise
it's
you.
It's not cheesy.
Oh,
it
no.
does.
Question from Danielle Lundy wrote, what does it mean when you are attacked in your dream and you wake up sore from the beating for days?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So that can have a lot of meanings, but let's explore the dream part of it, okay? Because we can get into astral traveling here as well. But if we're talking about the dream, anytime you dream that somebody is attacking you, especially if it's physically, sometimes it can be those memories that we've been suppressing from childhood or, those traumatic experiences. But then number two, it could be a reflection of what's going on in waking state right now. It may not be that this person is getting hit physically, but it could be that they feel that they are being attacked, whether it be emotionally, etc., right? So it's really important that they pinpoint where this is coming from. But now, taking a really big step back, some people do believe that whenever you go to sleep at night, not everything happens within the brain. Some people believe that essentially you leave your body and you astral travel, and what that is that the conscious energy that we are leaves, and then it starts exploring the astral plane. And some people believe that within that astral plane they run into other energies, and they literally sometimes crash into each other, sometimes harm each other for whatever reason. And some people believe that's why you wake up in pain. But what I personally believe is more that this is an emotional pain, but it's deep. This is something that is really deep. And we know that it's deep because they're being attacked, number one, but then number two, they feel that physical pain for days. And remember, whenever there's something that's going on at an emotional level, when it's that deep, you're going to get sick. You're going to end up feeling pain, etc. It's going to show up in some way within the body. So it's important to make note of this. And also, for whoever's having this dream of being attacked, pay attention. Is it a person that's attacking you? Somebody that you know? Who is it? Because that's a loving alert inviting you to create some space between you and this person. So loving alert, pay attention to that.
Let me ask you off the wall, and people in the chat, relax on this about near-death experience. A lot of people who said they had near-death experience, they saw a light, they went somewhere, then scientist says, no, it's just your brain working and giving you images of what you already have. In your own opinion, what you have learned, do you think it's beyond a dream, like on a near-death experience, or am I?
Yeah.
crazy?
So what I believe is this. I believe that things do happen in the mind per se, right? But I don't believe that they're just contained within the mind, because again, we're energy. So because we're energy, we're also part of this whole universe. So I believe that there are things that happen even right in front of us that we don't actually see with these human eyes.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, a near-death experience, it happens on so many different levels. But the only level that us humans can talk about is like, oh, it's the mind and the scientific, explanation for it. but I do believe it happens on many levels. And that really connects to dream state, because that's the same way I feel about dreams. I feel that, yes, you can say they happen in the mind, but I believe they happen on so many different levels as well, and different dimensions even.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of us swap bodies. No joking.
Yeah.
From other dimensions. Hey, hey, I want to
Have
go
you
on.
ever, have you ever had a dream like of a different dimension before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have a different show. I have an entirely different show. I have entirely different memories. I'm not from here. My memories are completely different. I make a whole show about it. I mean, I remember the Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island, so I'm like completely there. And now it's on a, I don't even know the name of the island. So it's my memories are completely different from this place.
Oh
I
my
don't know though. I mean, there's a lot of psychological things we can talk about, or there's a phenomenon. Or, I mean, I'm into science. I went to the University of Washington, so I know about science. So I'm keeping it on a science level at the moment. I'm not gonna. But yeah, I do have a feeling that some people might have swapped, like maybe swapped. I don't know. You could astral project. You're part of the energy, and dimensions are laid against each other. They're not far away. They're right up on each other. They're on top of each other.
Yes.
So it's easy to slip into one and then slip back into the other. So I'm not sure if that's something you believe in or not, but I think I've experienced something like that.
Oh, I do. I do believe that. I've had dreams like that where it's literally another dimension, right? And sometimes it can be like the same timeline but different.
Yes.
Right? And then other times it's like completely different. It's a different timeline, it's a different world, but the thing that we can still grasp from those experiences for me is that there's always still something to learn. So we've got to pay attention to how we're feeling, who we're watching, who we're interacting with, right? There's such insight that we can use right here, right now, but it's just so beautiful that we have access to that. So
Yeah.
I believe that.
Very good. I'm not crazy then. Good. Another one.
No,
Yeah.
you're still crazy.
If you are,
You're
then
still
I
crazy.
am.
Cool.
You're still crazy. Come on. Here was this one. Amber's Paraworld wrote, have you heard of anyone astral traveling and they couldn't get back to this dimension? They're lost in the dream world, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. So look, I never want to bring fear to the dream world ever, because I believe that us as individuals, we're extremely powerful, right? We're extremely powerful. The reason I say have a bedtime routine and be in the energy of love, unity, and peace is because I want you to have a beautiful experience. I want you to connect with yourself in the most loving way. And if you go to these different dimensions, I want you to be in that loving energy. Because what happens is, if you go to sleep and you're all freaked out and you're all nervous and you're all scared, you're going to have a really bad experience. So if you are popping into a different dimension, you're going to get some scary stuff. Okay. You're going to get some scary stuff. Now, I don't believe you can get stuck there or anything, because I believe that you have the power to come back at any time that you want, but you do have to be in that energy of love. And if you're not, again, you're going to experience things that are afraid, that make you afraid, and then you won't want to go and have dreams again. And that's one of the things that I really want to talk about, because I'm like, if we could just be more conscious and aware, have our little bedtime routine, let ourselves, go to bed in a loving way, you're going to have a great experience and you're going to learn about yourself. So that's what I really want to advocate for.
The
Very
hardest
good.
part about to have that, we have a fast life. Everybody has a fast life. Like my biggest mistake is I let my daughter get a freaking dog. So like every 2-3 hours, I'm taking the dog outside, and then I can never go back and get that deep sleep constantly, and it's like
Eric has dog dreams. Eric, tell us about you. How many dog dreams do you have, Eric?
Somebody wrote, I don't know if this is a question. Anybody ever seen the TV show Sliders? We've seen Sliders, but I don't know if Sliders has anything to do with dreams. But
They're probably just curious.
Well, that's dimensional shifting. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. But she's talking about in the dream state. Would you slide?
Can somebody have a kind of a deep dream in a short amount of hours, to like getting that full 8 hours sleep? Like, can I have that kind of dream in a 3 hour sleep?
Absolutely, you can. The thing is that you have to hit REM sleep quickly. So the way that you hit REM sleep quickly is that you've got to be chill, you've got to relax, and essentially you just have to let yourself fall into that, right? But if you're worried, concerned, if you're thinking of all these things, it's going to take you a longer time to get into that deep sleep. But yes, once you hit REM sleep, you can have a beautiful dream even within an hour. Okay. I've had people that literally they can fall asleep 5-7 minutes. They're in their REM sleep and they start dreaming. All right. So you can have it. And there are some people that this is kind of a little bit related, but some people that have a dream that seems like it took such a long time. Like, wow, they did so much within the dream. And they wake up, they're like, I was only asleep for like 2 hours and I did all of these things. And it's so cool how time doesn't really exist in the dream world. It's amazing.
Yeah, I go to sleep for maybe 10 minutes. Ex-military, you had like, they say, Geneva Convention says we only allowed to give you 2 hours of sleep. Huh? Really? They apply that during wartime. They're like, okay, but when you'll get little sleep breaks, right? Okay, a little break. I'm gonna take a nooner, they call it. You set your clock for 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. You go to sleep. When you say you hit REM, it's like you wake up like you just slept 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, you only been asleep for 10 minutes and you've had a full dream. I completely did all kinds of things. I mean, like, wow, I was only been 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Once you hit REM, it's time stops.
Right. I find that I always call it magical. I love to use that word magical because it's things that people sometimes are like, no way, that's not possible. But then when it happens to them, they're like, oh my gosh, it is possible. So yeah. And some people can do that very easily and others, it takes a little bit of practice. Eric, maybe you need to do a little practice so you can get to sleep quickly so the dog doesn't bother you so much.
And when she says, guys, REM, it means rapid eye movement. And so when you're in a dream state, you literally laying there and your eyes aren't moving. You're just kind of half in, half out. But once your eye starts moving, it's called rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
You're basically as a dog, they're chasing sheep.
If you ever try to watch a movie with Bob, boom, he's out.
Yeah,
Bob is out.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. Yeah, I literally I'm actually seeing a doctor for that right now. I have unusually, it's weird. I don't understand it why. I used to have high blood pressure, a big heavy guy. Now it's switched to low blood pressure, which is weird. The doctor's like, we don't get this because you're a big dude. I have low blood pressure, so I sleep. So I'll sit on the couch and I'll be talking to someone, and I'm gone. They're waking me up and say, "Hey man, you've been sleeping for like 20 minutes." I said, oh, it feels like I've slept for 8 hours, but yeah, okay. Normal day, sitting around doing something, sitting in a vehicle with somebody having a conversation. Hey man, wake up. Huh? How long have I been out? You've been out for like 15 minutes. Oh, I didn't know I fell asleep.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if this is a question because he has in caps. What dreams may come? Discuss. Now I know there's a movie where dreams may come when they die and go to heaven. But
the movie.
Is he talking about the movie? Like
I think so.
It's a sad movie.
It's really sad. She gets stuck there and then they go back to get her. But but you know what part I love though is where he's in her painting. You remember he's in the painting and he's running around with the dog. That part to me was really awesome because I'm like, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible when you have that kind of connection. I thought that part was really cool.
Okay, he was talking about the movie. Okay.
It's a magical movie, and when it really comes to life, the pictures start like melting into reality. I love it. And what's cool is Gypsy Road, their most popular video is discussing what dreams may come. And what's funny, maybe it's their best episode or something, but what me and Eric and Dr. Wu have analyzed, we think that people actually think it's the full movie. So they click on it.
Oh, that's funny.
And then it's used to talking about Robin Williams. I love it.
I love that.
Yeah, he had a rough one. He died of drugs, but and then he got off. A lot of people that were on narcotics for a very long time, they feel like they've lost the ability to have those kind of dreams or go into that state of mind where they can, venture on. It's kind of sad like that.
Right here.
Yeah.
What dreams may come.
Oh, there it is.
A day.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, people probably think it is the movie. Like they probably get real disappointed. Like, what the fuck is this?
These clowns. These guys.
That's funny. But you know what, to your point, Bob, of people that that are on a lot of drugs, and then all of a sudden they stop and they're trying to reconnect with the self and have dreams again. It's still possible to do, because although it's challenging, right? I assume I've not been through that, so I can't speak to that from personal experience, but I have spoken to people who've gone through it, and it is challenging, but we have to remember that dreams are natural. We naturally have them anyways. So really all that's been going on is that we've just tainted them some with all of these drugs that we've taken.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of cleansing, okay? Letting go, cleansing, and then allowing the mind, body, and soul to do what it naturally does, and that's dream. So don't be discouraged. If anything, just start letting that go. Start letting go as much as you can, and just invite those dreams to come. And one of the things that is really helpful is just setting an intention right before going to bed. Just saying, I welcome the dreams that, I welcome those magical dreams, or I welcome loving dreams tonight, whatever it is you want to experience, but literally ask for it. Ask for it. And the more you ask for it, you're going to start seeing the result in dream state. So go ahead and just do it. Set your intention.
We got another question from Daniela W., who's actually joined my Gypsy Road channel for a long time. So she's a long-time subscriber. I want to thank her very much for sticking with the show. She wrote, how can dreams help in waking life? Is it like the subconscious working through things?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So dreams are going to help you with everything, right? If we pay attention to our dreams, what they essentially are, yes, they're a reflection of the subconscious. They're a reflection of what is going on at our deepest level. So any dream basically is going to have a feeling. Okay. We need to connect with the feeling. What am I feeling during this dream? Now, once you've got the feeling, you can start talking about the images. Who are the people with me? What am I doing? What am I not doing? Okay. We take this information, we reflect to waking, and we pinpoint where is this coming from in waking state, right? Once you pinpoint where the dream is coming from, let's say that you were feeling afraid in the dream. Pinpoint where you're feeling afraid and where those people match these people. Okay. Try to make those connections. Once you finally make that connection, then the next step is not just knowing what the dream means. That's part of it. The next part is asking yourself, what am I going to do with this information to be a proactive creator in waking state? And that looks different for everybody, but it can mean doing something a little bit differently. Speaking up when you feel like you need to speak up, connecting with more people, etc. Right? But yes, dreams are going to reflect what is at your deepest level, so that you can actually use them to benefit your life in waking state.
Yeah, Criminal wrote, many dreams are filtering and detangling.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Go
guys,
ahead, Bob.
I'm sorry. Earlier she's talking about not taking drugs, and it's really important because your third eye, your pineal gland, it does get calcified. It does get calcified. That means the narcotics that you're taking or whatever medications can calcify it. Literally, it's covered. It's covered. It's one of the areas where you dream from. And also your neurotransmitters, when they're not being inhibited by an inhibitor, when you don't have anything in attached to your neurotransmitters in your brain, there's nothing there. Nothing. Synapses will happen, and you will have way more dreams. You will dream things you can't believe. You have to get off the narcotics. You have to get off those things that inhibit your neurotransmitters. Understand that. That's really important. Now, if you smoke a joint in the daytime, they don't do anything. They don't calcify your pineal gland. I don't recommend doing it before bed like she does, or she talked about. Don't do it before bed. You won't remember anything. But it doesn't attach itself when it's off. Your neurotransmitters are clean. It's cleaner.
Yeah.
If you take narcotics, you're gonna have them suppressed. You're not gonna dream correctly, and you're gonna have side effects from that. You're gonna have bad dreams and all kinds. They're not real. They're artificial. But go natural. Get rid of those things. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry.
Bob, I'm feeling that. That's why I'm doing this, because what you said there captures it so well. And the thing you said at the end, they're artificial. That's perfect. That is a perfect way to put it. Because you're right. You know what? The more that we take, the more that we're tainting it, the more that we're clouding it. But once we let go of those things, you're right. You have magical dreams. And then the other thing is, you have more lucid dreams. Those dreams where you're aware that you're dreaming, you can start creating all sorts of stuff that you want. And what I think is really cool is that part, but also okay, if this has ever happened to you, maybe you'll understand, but sometimes in waking state, you feel that consciousness, that awareness where you're like, oh my gosh, like this is starting to feel like when I'm aware I'm dreaming. And that part is kind of weird. But what happens is that is the unity, right? That's the unity of the self connecting to waking and dream state. So that's powerful right there. So when you're off of these things, you're going to enjoy life just because you feel good, because you're like connected. And I'm sorry, but sometimes people are going to think you're high. Like sometimes my family's like, are you on something? I'm like, no, I just feel amazing. So it's funny, but I'm not on anything.
Yeah. I always get mistaken for being on narcotics. I'm like, I don't take anything. I quit all those things years ago. I'll have a beer. Like Eric has a show. Okay, I'm going to grab a couple of beers and sit back and relax with you guys and have a couple of beers. I'll have a little bit of CBD. I'm just relaxing. I'm just relaxing with you guys. No narcotics or anything like that. Yeah. And Connor here is pure infinite energy. He's not taking anything. He's not taking any of those things. He'll microdose when he does a little bit of writing or expanding of the mind during the daytime and stuff. But none of those pharmaceuticals that come out of the companies that will actually inhibit and take over your neurotransmitters in your brain, and you guys become zombies. You can't think. But yeah, just throw that in there real fast.
Well, earlier in the chat, somebody wrote Nightmare on Elm Street was based on a true story. I heard that too. But let's take the Nightmare on Elm Street theory that somebody can try to kill you in your dreams. In simple terms, if somebody kills you in your dream, if you die in your dream, can you die in real life? Is that a true statement? Okay. I'm just going straight at it.
That's a good question. People have that question. Yeah.
It is a good question, but I'll tell you from experience, I've died about 5 times in my dreams. One time somebody shot me and I'm still here. One time I committed suicide in a dream, and this was different dimensions. Okay, so this is different dimensions, but I've died about 5 times in my dreams and I'm still here. But I will say this now. If you think that somebody can come into your dream, harm you and kill you, somebody will be able to do it. Now, the reason I say that is because you're so powerful. Like, we're all so powerful. So if you truly believe that and you give energy to it, it's going to be able to happen to you. But that's why I always flip it on my dreamers. I'm always like, let's focus on the love and the strength that we have within. So go to bed with those loving vibes, get yourself ready, because love is strength. So I want to make sure that people go to sleep in that way, and to know nobody can harm you unless you allow them to, unless you say, yes, you can harm me. Yes, you are stronger than I am. So never let go of your power, because you've got that power within. So I want to make sure to mention that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I believe in God. So I don't adhere to any religion, but I do believe in I believe in a God. And so when I'm in my little state or whatever, if I'm having some kind of bad nightmare, I always have that shield on me. I'm like, you know what? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you.
There you go.
I got something to back me up a little bit. I'm on its good side, or the creator's good side. So I'm not worried about you. The demon.
This might be off the wall again, but growing up as kids, we watch a lot of horror movies.
Oh yeah,
a lot of horror movies. Now, not to the point where I can't sleep at night at all, but because I watched a lot of horror movies and I liked them, I would have some weird dreams. Like one of the dreams I had as a kid, we came home in our apartment complex by the auction, and the window was open. I had to crawl through the window. I was the smallest. Bob, they flipped me in, and I went to the front door. And Santa Claus had a Christmas tree, and he stabbed me with it. Yeah. And I'm like, am I just going crazy?
So he's not lying. He's mentioned this
Christmas tree, or am I just watching too much horror movies and just mixing it with funny life? Because it didn't scare me.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing, because when we're talking about things that will taint dream world, it can be those things that we're watching too. So if you're watching things that make you too afraid, like, for example, it could be the movies, but also the video games, and I hate to say this because I know we've got a lot of video game lovers. I am a little video game lover myself, but I will say, if you play something that makes you feel fear, anxiousness, all of that stuff, you're literally filling yourself with that, right? So when you go to bed at night, that's going to come up too. And it's going to come up in a dramatic way. So what you'll find is you're going to get some images and feelings from that game, but then you're also going to get some mixed things from your actual waking state. So it's going to confuse you. You're not going to know what goes where. So it's really important that if you're trying to grow your consciousness and trying to be a more conscious just being, then you'll want to let go of things. And you'll hear me say that a lot, letting go of things. And at first it's like painful. You're like, I don't want to let go of those games. I don't want to let go of all these things she's telling me to let go of. But as you begin to let go, you connect with yourself and you realize you don't really need that to feel that high anymore, right? But again, it's a personal choice.
Yes.
What did you think of Inception?
Yeah. So I liked that movie. I thought it was pretty cool. What I liked was how they explained that you can go into different levels of dreaming, because I think so many people weren't aware that you could do that. And they did it like in a visual way, right? So I really liked that piece of it. I also liked how they played with time, because time there again, it was like deeper, and the deeper you go, like the longer the time was drawn out. So I actually really enjoyed the movie.
I loved it. Did you get to see it in theaters?
No, I saw it at home.
It's awesome. And then it's part of like a spiritual trilogy with Interstellar, which that talks about going so far into space that time doesn't matter as well. And then the newest movie called Tenet, Tenet, which is frontwards and backwards spells the same word, which is really cool. But man, those three movies really play with the mind and with dreams and with reality and the different levels of it. So I definitely love those movies. And then how the Matrix and computer codes and spirituality, it all goes back to dreams, and maybe you can break free from inside. And I love how you said, we don't need anything to, kind of jumpstart us. It has to be internal if we can count on it. And as a ganja smoker, I definitely can say that when you smoke right before bed, something with the REM sleep that you can't really grasp it or something. It's happening in our minds, but we can't process it somehow. But then when you wake up in the morning and you're not, super baked, that's when you can fall back into those lucid dreams. I love hearing that when you wake up in the morning and then you fall back asleep, and then that's when you can really have control. So that tapped into how you could be asleep for, 15 minutes, but it felt like 2 years of dream time. And then it goes into Leonardo DiCaprio and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Cillian Murphy. It's a really cool thing when cinema and reality and science and kind of metaphysicalness all comes together. And it's an amazing thing that we have to go to bed every night, y'all. It's like something you got to be a part of.
That's what I'm saying. That I love what you said at the end too, because sometimes people are like, oh, dreams, whatever. Like, I'm just going to boot them out. But like legit, that's one thing that we all do. And we're all in this dream world, and some of us are ignoring all of that wonderful information. I just can't. Ever since I was little, I would just like hold on to these dreams because I'm like, I know they have a meaning. I'm like, I don't know what they mean yet when I'm like little, but I'm like, but I feel that they do. And that's when my dream journey started. Since I was really little, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Dream lodge.
I have my journal right here that I've been writing my dreams for years, and some are really weird and cheap, like forced underwater near the pier, dorms, stores, all near the waterfront. Jeremy and Pat, grandparents, and many BHS students. House in Australia, party, Gator and pool. Browns were there. Robbing a house, real blurry, new development. Juliana and me sat in the stands at the cul-de-sac. And what's crazy is when you read this, I remember being there in the dream, and that's such a powerful thing. One thing that came up a lot in here, I had a lot of problems with my grandparents for a lot of years after I left college and was finding myself. They had no time for that, of course. So when I'm sleeping on the road and trying to find myself, I always went back to my grandparents' house in my dreams. And now that things are good, I still go back to my grandparents' house, but I'm finding like new mysteries. But back in the day, I always felt like I was being hunted by my grandpa. And man, he would finally catch up to me and punch me in my face and break my teeth. And I would have to swallow my teeth, and I researched that. And of course it was, I had unsolved problems that needed to be attested to. So it was really crazy dealing with that. And then I've lived on the road, across America out of my car, and my safe places were my dorm room back home, and then my home back home. And I'm all on to the next, but in my dreams, I still find myself going back there, when my parents were together, more just concrete times in my life. But again, it's very interesting to tap back into it. Let me keep reading a few of these too, just because the visual trip is awesome. I wish I did date and time all these, but as you know, like I don't have my glasses on. I'm just writing what I can. It's even just important just to get what I can, but it would be cool if I had the dates and be like the correlations from year to year, or even with the moon and the weather. Like there's so many variables that you could look into. Losing control of a car. Police said I drove. I'm not sure what the next word said. It might be the R word. Tried getting cake to turn on me. Military. Multiple meetings with Kasky before our show. Kasky is a big hip hop artist, and I was opening up for him, and it was a big concert, and I was really nervous about it. And I had a bunch of dreams of concerts like playing out, and it was just super really crazy. And I love that it can, come to real life. Star Wars ride with wet ending. That was funny.
Yeah.
This one's a long one. Midget shows up at front door. Me and Jake could barely see him. He tries to force himself in and open the door. I shoulder him back, but he was very strong. He stepped back and I saw his gun. I held glass door shut and yelled to Jake, "Close the red door." We did, but he noticed the back door was open. We searched the entire house aggressively with threats, and Zach S. didn't find him. So just little things of dwarfs trying to break into our house. It's really cool and really crazy. A lot of
very detailed.
I love that. Don't you, Eric? How detailed it is? Yes.
Even somebody in the chat room wrote that very detailed dream that he got
Very good.
back door open, front door. You saw a gun on him.
Right.
Remember all the details.
Well, he's a writer. And writers will write it all down because you can always put it in your book. It's always something in your head too.
It's free
You're
work.
absolutely right, Bob. Yeah, absolutely right. That's what I was thinking as you were reading it, because there's so much detail in it, and literally as you're saying it, I love it. I love when people say their dreams because I really can see it, like I visualize it, and especially if you tell me a feeling, like what you were feeling in the dream, I feel myself there, and I love that because that's how you can help people with their dreams. Once they tell you how they're feeling, what they're going through, it's like you're there with them. I don't know. I just really enjoy that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for breaking it down and having an open mind to it and maybe giving me some clarity. Because honestly, the 8 years I've been doing this, that's what it's for. These kind of conversations and me to read through it and kind of bring me back and try to remind myself who I was. And on these long journeys when it's like, man, where did the road go? I remember. I freaking remember that midget, looking through the window and literally shouldering it. And the red door, that's my old red door from my house, a big red door. Look it up in my music videos. There's pictures of that thing. Yeah. But man, it's revolutionary. And I again have went through different chapters of my life that more entries than not, and then I've went months without, being able to muster the courage and power and time. I'm so discombobulated and contaminated by the modern world. It's hard. So again, I just have to keep reminding myself and going back to myself. But yeah, this is what it's about. And sadly, my chicken scratch, but maybe it hides in the code. But it's beautiful. Even just reading through here and seeing some names, it just brings me back. And there was one. It talks about a half pipe that used to be in this girl's backyard. Everybody used to hang out to, and I still go back to that in my dreams. And it's just really cool, man. That's what time is eternal, and you really just have to ride the wave because it's a human construct, time. So when you really go into your mind, body, and spirit, you're still that kid. You're the future you. You're all of you all together. And I feel like your dreams is the main platform that we can maybe explore that because we don't have everything else. And then when you get into the science of it, it's a beautiful thing.
I love that. I feel like we're totally vibing because I totally feel what you're saying. You know, when you're in that dream, it's like past, present, future. It's all you. It's all there. You have access to all of it. And that makes me happy. I love that you said that. I'll have to I want to make sure I have like all of your contact info to check out your channels and to see what you all are up to. I love that.
In my description, I want to make sure that I have here. I got all your guys' YouTube channels in the description of this episode right here. So everybody's YouTube channels is there, and I'll email you Bigfoot Anon's YouTube channel, and then he's pretty big on TikTok. He's got over like 63,000 people following him on TikTok.
Love that. That's great.
No, that's like a strong army for sure. And it's really cool to have a platform like that I can just be myself and watch it transcend through the world. And I love, breaking free from society and thinking outside the box. So I am the messenger for that situation, at least. And I love bringing people live and direct to the Bigfoot research, to this outside way of thinking, and just showing that all nature holds magic and we are that eternal light, and there's some kind of curiosity with the elementals and these creatures and the dark forces because we're made in the creator's image. We are eternal. That tuck everlasting water is soaking through us. We bleed crystals. There is something truly special. And man, I went through a huge psychedelic awakening that I was just happy to be alive. Like I felt like that if I could be paralyzed and still had the mind thought that I had it all. And that just makes me appreciate the day. As long as I can think, then boom, you're free. And sadly, I feel like, the Matrix is coming true, and Equilibrium, the movie, that you're not allowed to have emotions, you're not allowed to feel, you're not allowed to think. I feel like they want that, but the soul will forever leak through. It's like the truth's tide. It always will just find a crack.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. And we have to keep sharing that, right? Because like you said, sometimes it's like they want us not to express emotion, but those feelings that we have, that's our guiding system. That's what makes us powerful. So I'm with you on that. We have to keep on doing what we're doing and talking about our feelings, talking about our dreams so that other people feel comfortable doing it too. And one of the things that I think is really cool is when you talk about dreams, you're connecting with people in a profound way. It's not just like, oh, how was work again? It's like deep, right? It's deep. So you get to know people on a different level. So I appreciate all the people that have asked questions today. And I appreciate you all for sharing your dreams with me. It's a treasure for me. So thank you.
And Daniel, want to make sure your children books are available right now on Amazon.
Very cool. Yeah. Talk about those a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. They are available on Amazon. So you'll notice that there's an English version and a Spanish version. So pick the one that you want. And so the one that's the most recent is this one. This is Lupita and Her Magical Dreams. So this talks about a little girl named Lupita who is having a nightmare. Oh, she's having the worst nightmare and she doesn't know what to do about it. So she gets guidance from her parents. I'm not going to give you all the details, but it's very artsy. It's super cute and it's fun. So I recommend this one. And also the other book that I have is another children's book. It's a series of Lupita. This is Lupita and the Magic of Mexico. And this is about a little girl who goes back to Mexico after not seeing her grandmother. And she takes her mother to actually reunite with her. So she explores all of the wonderful things that Mexico has to offer. And this one, I wrote this one, you'll probably read it on my website, but because I was brought to the US when I was 2 years old, I didn't have a chance to grow up with my grandmother, but through writing relationships and you're able to connect with people. So I created this book to help unite my family. And that's what it's done for us. And that's what it's doing for a lot of kids at the border. We donate this book to the Sidewalk School. It's a school in Matamoros, Mexico. It's on the border town. And it's literally a school on the sidewalk for kids. So we make sure we donate it to them annually. So that way they have fun books to read there as well.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, I just it's one of those things that I feel I just absolutely have to do because coming to the country so young, I realized that I could be one of those children that is still waiting at the border, right? That is still going through these really tough situations. So we want to make sure that those kids have books and that they're
Good.
taken care of.
Very good. Yeah, I have to proudly say that most of my school was on the streets. I went to university. I got like a GED and below a GED. I got an equivalency test. A lot of my friends have learned more outside of the box than they did inside the box. So when you talk about street school, kids on the street learning, it's good for them. They just need books. You don't need to be in the classroom. You just need books. You need something to start with, something to read, the basics, and then you can learn yourself. You don't need to be inside of a classroom. I tell people, well, do you recommend college? Well, I recommend some classes in college.
There you go. Yeah.
But also I recommend the classes that you don't need in small ways because you know what's not right. You got to have a balance of what's BS to know what's the truth. So even though you might need that dumb class to see this other class is more relevant to you. But that's great. You're handing books out like that. That's great.
And I know you got to go because you got things you got to do first thing in the morning. and guys, we'll stay on for a little bit longer when she leaves. But I want to thank you so much for coming on and answering those questions. I know we went right into the questions, but I want to get everything answered. You're just awesome. You're an awesome person.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric. It's always so good. Like, I love being on your show. This is only my second time, but I feel like I know you all really well. So I want to thank you for having me on. And again, I want to thank you for sharing your dreams with me tonight and for the questions that were asked, because we're connecting on a different level when we do this kind of work. So I appreciate you, and I hope to be back some other time soon. Thank you.
No problem. You have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. That was awesome.
No, she's awesome. And what I liked about it is she doesn't do tarot cards. She's not a medium, which there's nothing wrong with that. No. She's just a regular person who does research in a research way, not in a medium or a tarot card way. So it's nice to have that point of view from different people.
And she balances science. She balances science and science and technology and all that one stuff with other ideas of I guess, our bodies leaving, our spirits leaving the body, multiple dimensions. I mean, these are all on the table, which is fantastic. At the same time, keeping grounded, and it sucks to do it, but you have to be a little bit grounded in science at the same time, because people can go too far and they can follow a charlatan right off the edge of a cliff. You got to be careful with that.
I think she answered the near-death experience question perfectly, because a lot of people will just go with science, and she went with reality of mixing it both.
Yeah, I've had a lot of death dreams. Holy shit. Had a lot of those, man. And so when she talked about hers, that was fantastic and relevant, because it doesn't make me feel crazy. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't feel crazy now.
No, because people say they die in their dream. And I'm like, I died in my dream. I know I did.
Yeah.
You're falling off a cliff.
Airplane death.
I mean, you don't see yourself hit the ground, but you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my experiences, I usually wake up like right as I'm dying.
Yes.
I was hoping I could find it on here. I remember it. I was on like a Nile swamp, because it felt like we were being surrounded by natives. Oh, but it was also like nuclear too, because there was large creatures like fish that were like 25 feet long, but they weren't aggressive or anything. They were just naturally that long. We're just like, oh, there's a super Ukrainian beast, But I ended up getting taken over. The ship got taken over, and I got my throat, cut. And I still remember feeling it. But before I died, I woke up, and it's just so crazy. And now I know if I were in native land on a little boat that doesn't seem like it's going to float, I'm about to meet my demise. But I felt it, so I already know.
Yeah.
I know it's coming.
Yeah, I was in a plane crash. That was in a plane. I remember in the fuselage, and I know planes, I'm sitting in the seat, and the whole plane flipped upside. I remember the oxygen masks falling as clear as day. I remember the whole plane flipping upside down. And I hung it upside down, and pretty much there was that big wave of light or whatever. And then, like you said, you wake up. I'm like, oh boy. Whew.
Oh,
I think I was in a plane crash.
let's have some fun here. I picked up a website, you know, because I knew because she only stayed for an hour, and this website that I picked up is called 12 Common Dreams and What They Supposedly Mean.
Woo.
So I thought for fun, we'll just, conversation piece. So
Yes.
like right here. Let's go to number 1. Falling. Lauenberg calls this dream a red flag from the subconscious. She believes this dream is common in people who are having a major life problem with work, relationships, or elsewhere. Grant work concurs with the viewpoint, even citing the same example. So falling. Okay.
Yeah, I fell.
Now this is weird. Teeth
I fell.
falling out. People have dreams about teeth falling out? Huh. The experts greatly
Yeah.
Well, let's see what this says here. The
I heard
experts
it.
greatly disagree with this one. Wallace views teeth as a symbol of power and confidence. The dream is supposedly assigned as something happened in the dreamer's life that caused him or her to lose confidence. According to Grant, teeth are a bad omen and represent a broken relationship. Lawrence has a presumed answer to his dream. For women, she believes the dream is an example of wish fulfillment. They want to become pregnant. For men, it's a desire for sexual stimulation.
Okay.
Interesting.
That is interesting, right? All that from teeth falling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was my grandpa beating me up and my teeth breaking and having to swallow them. That sucked. And I've had so many other weird night terrors at my grandparents. I actually wish I got to speak to Carolina about it. After Pet Sematary came out, I had horrible night terrors of the sister, the one with the deformed back, and I had a doctor for it because she would chase me around the yard. And not to offend anybody now, but now looking back and analyzing the situation, the actor that was playing the sister was an actual man. So it was a man playing a woman, and a young boy like me, I didn't understand that. And then adding in a deformed back and walking and weird sounds, that I feel like really messed with my mind, man. And that witch definitely messed with my nightmares for a long time. And I don't even know what the medicine was, but yeah, my mom had to take me there, and it was serious for a long amount of time. But now I look back, I'm like, I think that was the situation. It was just my mind didn't know how to process it. It knew that something was, and not hating, I have transgender friends, I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying my young mind, not even exposed to that life and acting and makeup, it all played into it. And then the movie is really creepy, and then it's written by a guy who wrote in blood. So, I was a victim, guys.
You're not the only one, man.
And the newest movie, when it came out, when it was remade, like, I love movies. I love scary movies. I love the feeling of being scared. But when I watched that movie, the remake, and it brought back that character, like, honestly, I'm feeling it right now. Like, it was a new type of scared. It was like I was reliving, those nightmares as a kid. And I still remember her chasing me around the yard. Like, it was crazy. Now, I juke her out and Sparta kick that little biatch right into that tree. But back then, she had a mental thing about me. But
I remember that scene, dude. That was a spooky. I don't care. You're not alone. I remember watching. I was a man watching it, going, oh, I had to jump a little bit. Going, I don't know what to watch. She was so real. Like, oh man,
she was scary, man.
It was great. It was a great scene. They just did a great job.
Yeah, she had some kind of back problem, so that she had to get fed up this scared door, and then she crawls down it. It really messed with me, man. And the image of Zelda is super scary, and it really gave me night terrors for a long time.
Yeah,
but I worked through it, and I honestly think I got to the bottom of it. And then came my grandparents' problems, and now I definitely see Sasquatch and werewolves and aliens in the sky in my dreams. So I've tap it in like it's another reality. Luckily.
Does anybody remember this movie? Bob, I know you remember this movie.
Okay.
Dream a Little Dream with the Corey brothers.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the show, though. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I try to remember exactly because they had to do the dreams to go.
It's been so long. Yeah. Dream within a dream. Oh.
Dream a Little Dream. Let me go to IMDb, get the actual, what was it about? Dream. Hold on.
This is before Connor, I think.
Yeah, but rest in peace, Corey Haim. Freaking screw Charlie Sheen.
An accident puts the conscious of an early dream researcher into the body of a bratty teenager. Okay.
It's a rated 5.8. Okay, that's solid.
I remember when we watched it. It was good during that time, but I haven't watched it since then.
I want to watch it. I've been going back to the 80s music. I've been watching 80s movies. I mean, I don't want to go start that discussion, but there's been a lot of Mandela phenomenon changes with a lot of those, which is unusual. But yeah, interesting to watch all those old things and listen to that old music.
You know what's great, Bob? My daughter, Violet, she makes fun of some of these older movies. And on HBO, Pump Up the Volume is on there.
Oh.
I told her, you'll like Pump Up the Volume. This is before cell phones, before social media, when he has to use
shortwave
range radio. And she watched the whole thing. She got attached to it.
It's a good movie.
It was a great movie with Christian Slater.
Yeah, he started a revolution with his voice. The town was becoming militant. They were kicking all the students out of school. A girl for being pregnant, she was kicked out of high school. They didn't give her any, all the bad things.
The idea was to get grant money, you got to have the highest scores. So the idea was if you get rid of all the people that give you the low scores, your average is going to be higher.
Exactly.
Christian Slater's father is the commissioner, and he was stealing information from his father and reading it on air.
It's fascism at its best. It was it's kind of what we do now in certain ways. But yeah, they were just kicking out all the losers, they called them, and all the scum. Anybody who looked different, who thought different. You see that now. You see that in a Nazi country or whatever, in China. A lot of other countries, Russia. I don't want to start naming places.
This one sounds like you.
Good.
Showing up to work or school naked. Experts largely agree that this dream represents vulnerability and anxiety. While this research reveals that this dream is common to people who have accepted a promotion, gone off to a new job, or who are coming into a public view. So I guess they take that in a dream and they're going to work or school naked.
Why not?
See, I kind of have a connection to that because I have a lot of dreams. I go back to school and I'm not naked like clothes wise, but I'm naked in preparedness because I never have the homework. I never studied for the test. I don't know where my dang locker is. I don't know where my bus is that takes me to my house. So literally all four of those are so vivid and they show up all the time in my school dreams. It's always like, God dang it. Like I am not prepared. And the group is always expecting something out of you. The teacher is waiting for you. But I also do love going back to my old schools and kind of reimagining it. I went to Memorial Elementary and then Brunswick High School. And my dream combines those two schools together. And then Visintainer Middle School now doesn't exist. And like the baseball fields don't exist. But in my dreams, I could still go back there. But that is so crazy because I'm not naked in clothes, but I am naked in preparedness, a bazillion %. It is so embarrassing. And it's like the ultimate test of like, how can I talk myself out of this one, Connor? Well,
I'm going to skip the test taking. Fuck that one. But this is the dying one.
Oh.
Lawrence. interpretation is that this dream reveals the wish to terminate something in life, a relationship, a job, a career path, or even the past. Grant's dictionary emphasizes that the dream is not necessarily a nightmare. Rather, he repeatedly states that in this dream meant to encourage a person to embark on a new endeavor or a fresh start. So basically saying that when you die and you dream, when you wake up, you're starting a new start. You're starting fresh.
Well, good. It shouldn't be anything to be afraid of. I mean, I just died.
Like Connor said, you kind of wish you write down dates and times of your dreams.
Yeah.
Because it'd be interesting to see that, wow, I started a new job on this date, and this is when I had a dying dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cross the dots.
Yeah. Now, that next one, that meeting a celebrity, I've never met a celebrity in my dream. No.
Let me see here. Wallace named one of the dreams his client have the most. He believes the actual celebrity is relevant, may reveal with talents that the dreamer values and dream on it. Laura writes, well, maybe somebody who's like die-hard fan and all they do have that person in their mind.
That's true.
All day. I mean, you and I are about the same. It's like I would never pay money for an autograph.
Yeah.
Because nobody's that important enough to me where I gotta have an autograph. Now I'll take one for free.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $70 to $100 because nobody is better than you. We're all the same.
I guess in a weird way, I've had a dream like that. Well, I somebody I admired. It was like somebody I admired, like very much so. And I dreamt that like I was going to meet that person, and I was like standing there looking like a fool. Like I couldn't say anything right. I couldn't talk right. I was an idiot. I've had that dream. But somebody I admire, not a celebrity.
That would have been a good one to ask her. Why do many of my dreams occur in the 70s? That'd be interesting because maybe something has happened to you in the 70s that you just can't shake.
That's kind of cool. A lot of my dreams are the 80s. I can't shake the 80s. 80s are like 70s, the early 80s, 70s, probably like yours. Yeah.
Celebrities are overrated. Soul selling, meaning that's what I'm saying. I'm not paying money for an autograph. I'm sorry. Listen, I got 2 autographs in my life. I got one from Mike Ness, Social Distortion. Didn't have to pay for it. He signed it on his own. And I got an autograph from Doug Baldwin at a YMCA. Didn't charge $1.
Whoa.
That's great.
That's cool.
But if you go to these Comic Cons, I mean, I know that's where they make their money, but I'm just not paying $70 to $100 for an autograph. I'm just not doing it.
I don't want your fucking signature for money.
You
You want to sign my book, okay, but he ain't paying you.
Now here, let's go to this one. Being chased. I know we all had dreams being chased.
Oh, God.
Despite a nightmarish feel of this dream, Wallace considered it a positive sign. He believes that his dream is supposed to encourage the dreamer to finally face the problem that he has been hanging over his head. Lowenberg encounters this dream more often in women than men. So I guess more women have dreams being chased than men do.
Oh, fuck no. I've had many of those. Oh, my God. I've had a lot of those. I don't know about women, but
well, we really think about it. Women get chased good or bad more than men do. I mean, women's got a lot. Most men out there are not good people. Women got more to have scared than men do. I mean,
I've been chasing many dreams. Like, I mean, fucking chased too. Like the whole dream. I'm just trying to get the hell away.
Are you being chased by like humans or like cryptids or something?
Both.
UFOs?
Both. Yeah, I've mentioned it before. I've talked about it before. It's not bullshit. People talk about the tall man. What do they call that? The tall guy. What's that another name? Slender Man.
Slender Man.
Talk about Slender Man. Okay, I'm not a privy person to the myth and the story. I didn't watch any movies about it. I have no idea about Slender Man. In 2016, me and Eric, our brother Mike, we were in a fucking Cadillac. Like we're in an open with a no top on the bottom, and we're driving up this huge hill. And there's like it's like I went to Britain afterwards. It's kind of weird because the buildings look like Britain. It looks like something you see in Europe, the European style buildings. And there was nobody in town. It's completely black. And I mentioned this before. And I wanted to get out, and there's nobody there. And Mike, our brother, being the stubborn asshole that he always was, we're leaving. I said, no, I want to at least window shop, man. I want to walk up the sidewalks and just look through the windows. We came all this way. You get out of the car, I'm leaving. That's our older brother being a dick. I said, then leave then. And he drives away. I said, asshole, you actually left. He left. He drove down, being a dick he is. So I'm looking through the windows, figuring he's going to come back. And I'm walking down the sidewalk, and I look behind me, and this is twilight, like towards nighttime. I look behind me, and there is this tall, dark character with a head like an asparagus. Like I call him, you guys never call him the Slender Man. I go, no, he's an asparagus man. Big, tall asparagus guy. And this dude followed me down the street, and I look back, and I'm like, what's your problem? And I walk, and he's big and kept following me. Faster I moved, the faster it moved. I started to run, it started to run. I'm running around looking for shaking fucking doors, nothing's opening. I'm like, oh, come on. Making it down, and there's a big-ass church. I go inside the church, and the pews are all stacked on top of each other like it's a storage house. And I'm climbing over the pews, and this thing is just gliding over the pews, like right behind me, like just inches to grab me. And there's a closet on the corner, and I open the closet, and I open it up, and there are people in there from the town hiding in there.
Black cat behind Connor.
Oh, shit. So I get inside that closet, Eric, I shut the door, and then that's the end of the dream. But it couldn't get through the door. And then there's townspeople hiding in this back room of the church. But that big slender guy. And so afterwards, I'm like hearing all these kids make fun of it. They're making videos. Slender Man. I'm like laughing and going, oh, wow. No, I had that. I go, no, it's not fake. People having dreams of Slender Man. I'm like, yeah, I had that dream. I'm sorry to say I actually had that completely out of context. I didn't read no books on it. I tried to debunk it. I didn't see no videos on it. There's no movies made about it. Nothing.
Criminal wrote, I had a dream when I was a chauffeur for John and Yoko. They were laughing a lot. It was a psychedelic limousine.
That'd be weird.
Yoko Ono and John Lennon.
That would be weird.
Now,
That's pretty legendary.
Now, a lot of people have had, I've heard this a lot from people having dreams about people cheating themselves, their wives, girlfriends, partner, whatever your preference is. Everybody I've heard had a dream like that before. So that's nothing really new.
Everybody's nightmare on that one. You did what with who?
Showing up late for something. Well, I can see that. I mean, you're a lot of times you're worried about the next day. You're going to a job interview or something, and I can see consciously you're having a dream.
Yeah.
Don't you hate it when you have a great fucking dream and there's something wakes you up and you're trying to force yourself to go back to sleep, to go back into that same dream?
I want to go back. Yeah, I've had that. Yeah.
There's a couple X-rated ones in that journal, Holly Berry and me, went to the same community college. So
somebody in the chat wanted me to ask a dream in that way, and I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna ask her about wet dreams. Bunch of guys. I wasn't gonna. I just couldn't.
Yeah,
Carolina is way too sweet for that. It was really nice of her to share the stage and the screen with three bozo bums like us.
We kept it PG. I was like, I'm not saying anything bad, man. I'm gonna keep it clean.
So, I actually a question for Connor. Are you working tomorrow?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
Because I could do breaking news anytime I want tomorrow. There's no time frame. I mean, so I was thinking you're at work. I could do it at noon if you want.
Yeah, as early as you can do it. I'm definitely down for that. I'm super excited for you. I'm gonna maybe take mushrooms tomorrow so I can live vicariously through you, so I can go see the Batman with my favorite actor, Robert Pattinson, the freaking genius of acting in cinema. And then you have Zoe Kravitz, which she's awesome. It's Lenny Kravitz's daughter with Lisa Bonet. So two cultural icons coming together, and their little daughter is a hodgepodge, and she's playing Selena Kyle. So I'm super pumped for that. We got the Riddler, the Joker's in it. It's gonna
I'm
be
ready.
wild.
3 hours long. It's 3 hours long.
247.
What I've heard so far, people are saying it's basically you're watching The Godfather, but with Nirvana slow music in it, taking Nirvana music slow in it.
Really?
What are you describing it? Yeah, it's more of this one's different. This one's more of detective.
See that?
Being a detective in this movie. It's more of not all the special tools. It's how he uses his brain to solve a crime. So it's going into a detective type of world where a lot of people are describing it like The Godfather, some of these 70s mafia movies, just with a guy in a bat suit in a way.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. We'll get to see the ins and the outs of Gotham.
3 hours, so I'm ready. It's 3 hours, man.
Wow.
It's
Wow. Well, I will not be on Eric tomorrow.
If it's a good movie, 3 hours ain't nothing. If it's a bad movie, 3 hours is
It's a
forever.
long time.
Right.
I got to go to a reservation tomorrow, so I won't be here.
When you said the Kingsman sucked, I was like, oh, how bad could it be?
I like the Kingsman.
No,
The newest one?
not the first one. Not the first. There's 3 of them.
I know. I saw the third one. I liked it.
You liked it? I didn't.
I liked it.
Must be in your timeline, man. It must have been a good movie on your comic book because me and Eric,
You guys both hated it. Yeah. I go, this is kind of cool. I get
like
why.
it. I don't know why. I was bored.
It's not. I had to think about it as not the same movies as the other. I separated it in my head as a whole separate movie. It had to be because it had nothing to do with. Well, it had what they tried to pretend to be the beginning of it, but it's not the beginning for the other two. I considered it a whole separate movie. I enjoy the. There's an African actor. I really love his stuff. I love his style of act. I like the actors. But I had to think of it as a separate movie, like not part of the Kingsman. Yeah. If they just changed the name, maybe, and kind of like disassociated it a little bit, it would have been a good movie to watch.
Well, I like the first two.
Love the first two, yeah.
The first one is, my opinion, is the best. The second one was cool. Third one,
third one had its own. It's a whole separate movie. It had its own separate thing. It's like I could see why you guys did, because you're thinking of the Kingsman. It has to be they're forcing you to attach it to the other two when they should not have.
No,
they should have had a different name.
I said it was a weird night because we're sitting there, the wife is falling asleep.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know, the energy just wasn't there.
I liked it as its own
environment.
It's like I said, sometimes you can rewatch a movie at home in a different environment and it's a lot better.
Yeah,
see, I watched mine at home on my projector, and I don't know, maybe I was just distracted. So, vice versa for you and I. You were in the theater. It was too much. Me, I was at my house. It wasn't enough. I feel like I would have needed a theater to pay attention. I would have had to not be on my phone, not smoking a million pounds at that point. Because I loved all the actors. Diamond Houston, he's a freaking genius. Ralph Fiennes, Jeffrey Epstein's buddy, but still Voldemort, good friend.
Yeah.
But it's just I wanted to like it. I know. But it was just too slow.
It was. It had its own separate style. It's like its own separate type of movie. It should not have been connected to the other two because it was a completely different movie, the other two.
And we're all different. Listen, most everybody hated Moonfall. I fucking loved it. I love how bonkers it was. The fucking theories, the lost tribes, and like they're Earthers. The moon is a machine.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I want to see that.
I mean, critics hated it, and I liked it.
Well, Ad Astra with Brad Pitt.
Like
people hated it. And I go, no, I liked it because
Connor brought up Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one that's on Netflix.
I love that, by the way. I'll talk about that. But Ad Astra was good for me because it reminded me of Apocalypse Now. I put myself in the state. Okay, it's a space apocalypse now. That's what I have to think about it. It's a slow burner movie, slow burner. I mean, but it's apocalypse now. If you watch it as a space movie, like all the other ones that are like bing, bang, boom, you ain't gonna like it. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
But Eric, what are you talking about right now?
Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I loved it because it kills hipsters.
Well, the thing is, Bob, this is why I liked it. Okay, it's a simple plot. Very simple.
Simple.
Hempters comes in, but what they knew it was simple. But what they did was they concentrated on how he fucking kills them. The blood, the guts, the cracking of the bones, stabbing it into the head, and seeing the guts over the car. I mean, there's some fucking cool kills on it. Like he's killing everybody on that fucking bus, and they're filming it like on TikTok, and he's just
in the window, all like at the window. They were killing hipsters. The best part of the movie, and I was like, another guy, no, I don't like it. He goes, no, you got to look at they're making fun of hipsters in a way. Now they could have killed anybody. You could have feel sorry for the character, but these were snot-nosed hipsters, and it's like one guy who's obviously, I'm not against anything. He was a very feminine male, but his back was turned, and he took the chainsaw and run it through his rear end, and then forced it into a gal that obviously was probably somebody who's a gender bender. She's probably lesbian, and he's making them like, but with the chainsaw. They were hipsters. It was like they're mocking.
Now the only thing is, it's 50 years later, so I'm thinking Leatherface must be crazy because he's still strong. He must be like 70 years old. If you think about it, he must have been 20 in the original.
Yeah.
And this 50 years later, he must have been 70.
He was quick.
I love it.
He was quick for a 70-year-old guy.
It was just pure chainsaw cutting and slashing and nothing but pure horror. I mean, exactly what you want to see in those kind of movies. There was no relationship building. There was no this. It was just horror movie. The whole thing.
It's sex or the saw.
It's sex.
Yeah, I love that. That's what you got out of that scene. It just also shows that there's many communications and hidden subliminal signs in cinema. You know, you said it right there. Brad Pitt, Amber mentioned, Rob Zombie and Tom Cruise. It's all connected. They're all communicating. You got him in Snatch talking to himself in Interview with the Vampire, and then Mission Impossible, when he jumps over there and he actually broke his foot, he does a subliminal sign to Mission Impossible, the first one. It's all over the place, and I'll tell you, my character is definitely hollering at my other character in Zillafoot. So I'll tell you right now, it's happening.
We're talking movies. Yeah, no, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm trying. There's the new Vikings coming up right now.
It's already out. The Vikings.
Yeah, I'm binging the Vikings original series, which is really.
I am too, because I totally forgot what the whole story was about.
Yeah, so I'm doing. That's my new thing, and then I'm jumping. Also, I have watched. I'm going to throw a little shout out. I did enjoy Cowboy Bebop. There's a new series called Cowboy Bebop.
That wasn't bad at all.
Oh, it's good. I said, if you just want to kick back with popcorn and just enjoy a good show, you guys, Cowboy Bebop. It's based off a comic out of Japan, I believe it is.
It's based on an anime too. If you guys get a chance to watch the anime, it is like my first anime that I watched. The whole complete series, because a lot of like One Piece and stuff, that's like 700 episodes. Cowboy Bebop, one series. And yeah, they are space cowboys. They're bounty hunters, and they have to go all around. But the live action, see, I love that you guys have. That's all you guys got was the live action, and you enjoyed it. Me, I watched the anime. Some people, are diehards, and they can't even get to the dang live action. So it's cool. It might suck to some people, but it's awesome to you guys because you don't have all that preconceived expectations. And I was contaminated by them too. I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it so much, and the trailer was so inventive and experimented. Like he would punch the guy in this scene, and then he'd pop into the other bracket, kind of like a comic book.
Yes.
That was only for the trailer because it didn't do that on the actual episodes. But it was a good sci-fi show at the bottom floor. I love that you guys appreciate it. And so hearing that is, of course, just synchronicity. But right when I moved to Florida and I was living out of that punk rock musical house, they were all anime heads. And they were like, Connor, how you love all this paranormal stuff, but you don't watch anime? I'm like, well, I watch Pokemon. They're like, hey, well, that counts. That is anime.
I love anime. I love Japan anime.
Then a book reader don't like a movie because they want it more like the book. And you can't put a whole book in a 2-hour movie.
Ooh, I hate that. I don't like watching movies with somebody who read the book. If you're watching a movie with someone who read the book, you're going to hear how the book is different, the whole movie. You're like, I can't, please don't tell me that. Well, this is horrible because they do. I don't know. I didn't read the book. Please don't. The scene looks good to me.
Especially like the Stephen King books. Don't ever watch a Stephen King movie with somebody who read the book. Because their fucking books are like this, you know? And the movie's short.
Yeah, they cut the scene out. I don't know if they cut the scene out. It looks fine to me. I don't know if they cut the
Tom Cruise in Rock of Ages? I like Rock of Ages. That was pretty good.
That's great. Oh, fuck. I haven't seen that in a long time. Oh,
that's
shit.
that one with Paul Giamatti in it and stuff, right? Kind of recent.
Oh.
Yeah, it came out like
not recent, but like
2-3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if it's a dance movie, right?
Yes, it's a musical.
Yeah, a guy that was in my musical is actually in that movie, and I would always like brag about that. And I think it's so funny. Like I used to love to be in like other people's credits, you know, like Small Town Monsters. They had short film, and I donated to be in the credits, you know, and other ones like Indiegogo. I'm like some executive producer on some random short film because I donated $7. You know, I loved stuff like that. Now that I've paved my own way,
yes,
still cool, but I don't give an F about any of that kind of stuff. You know, I got my own projects and my own shows and my own movement that I gotta be worried about. I can't be happy to be some footnote in some other project. I'm happy to be a part of it, 100%. Yeah, but I used to really like take pride in that and like seek that kind of stuff out, and now I'm on the cover, you know, so it's really cool. Just definitely, it's a cool little cycle that I've been through, kind of like that, like right there, like how I used to be so proud of my, you know, castmate was in Rock of Ages. I used to like tell people. Now I'm like, guess what? I don't give a flying F. Like it's cool to mention just for like Kevin Bacon 7 Degrees, but dude, I'm in Zillafoot. Like that's on Amazon Prime. My buddy Tim, who's in Rock of Ages, but a fan of Connections. I have to mention it. But I'm glad I stand on my own 2 feet now. I don't have to, you know, talk about my friends being in something, but I still am very proud of my friends, and I like to build them up. So I guess there will be a weird balance, but now I stand strong on my own mountain as well. And I did before, but I guess I just wasn't as you know, proud and waving my flag. And now I have no choice but to wave my own effing flag.
Well, I guess a lot of people have seen the play.
It was a play, yeah.
Well,
it was a play.
Just a little side note about the movie. A lot of people might not know. The song, The Rock of Ages, based on the song Def Leppard Rock of Ages. They allow the Broadway plays to use the song at all. They didn't want their songs to be like used in movies like during the commercial days. But when they finally made the movie, they're like, fuck it. The song is the title is our song. So they let the movie use the song, but it's only in the movie, not the plays. Now I don't know if they allow the plays now going forward to use it, but the plays in the back could not use the title of the song.
I did not know that.
If anybody cares. Anybody cares.
We're just kind of killing the time having some bullshit. Everyone just relax. If you have a favorite movie you want us to talk about, put it up real quick.
Let me see here.
Eric, did you see my my chat or my show with, you know, UFO Garage? I saw you in there a little bit.
Yeah, I was in there off and on because while you're on the show, I was actually at the mall because my daughter was getting her hair cut. So I was like,
that was definitely one of those shows that I was freaking going. I didn't even see barely any of the chat until the end when it started slowing down and we were just chilling. But when it was going, man, I can't wait to rewatch it and see what people are saying, because I love those moments. I'm just like blind. Like I'm like zoning into conversation, but I can't even read that fast. It's just like, but I had a lot of fun on there, and time flew by. I thought I was going to have like 45 minutes, in between shows and stuff. I'll be able to chill.
I am going to rewatch it.
1 minute.
I am going to rewatch it because I got like 20 minutes here, 10 minutes here. But there's a movie, Bubba Hotep. Fuck yeah. That's the guy from Evil Dead, our buddy Bruce Campbell, man. I mean, some people say it's a true story that JFK never got killed and he was stuck in the retirement home and they painted his skin. Some people say that's real. And Elvis, some people say Elvis didn't really die. He was actually in a retirement home. There's some people say Bubba Hotep's not really a fake story. It's really a true story in folklore in legend.
That's a great horror movie. It's a great horror. I don't want to give away too much of the information, but it's a great horror movie. I love it.
If people have not seen that now, they're not going to see it now.
Right. Just from my boss the other day, I spoiled that Tony Stark dies because I was like, Tom Cruise is going to be the next Iron Man in the Doctor Strange. He's like, I thought Robert Downey Jr. I was like, he died. And he still hasn't seen Endgame. I'm like, oh, my bad. And then I wish I could take back me saying my bad, because it's like, dude, you haven't seen Endgame yet. I shouldn't feel bad about that. But
the Tom Cruise connection was Tom Cruise was going to be Iron Man before Robert Downey Jr.
Oh wow!
They actually had him fitted for the part and all that. And I can't remember the director. What's his name? That they decided that Tom Cruise, that the studio wanted Tom Cruise, but the director did not want Tom Cruise. He wanted his guy, Robert Downey Jr., because the studio didn't want him because Robert Downey Jr. is coming off those drug busts, those waking up in people in houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So Disney did not want him, but originally Tom Cruise was going to play that part. So they're saying Doctor Strange, that the connection is true hard comic book nerds will know that story, that originally Iron Man was going to be Tom Cruise.
I like that.
Keanu Reeves wants to be a superhero now. You hear about that? Keanu Reeves wants to be like a superhero, like in a movie. He already is in Matrix, but he wants to be part of like the Marvel universe. He wants to be like
I can't remember. He is signed. I don't know if it's
he's going to be a superhero.
He is signed. Listen, they all falter. Remember, Ethan Hawke bashed superhero movies. He says they're ruining the cinema, they're ruining the theaters, and guess what? Ethan Hawke is the main evil guy in the new Marvel TV series on Disney Plus. What is it? Moon
Shadow or Moonfall? No, not Moonfall. Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So they all changed their ways, Bob. They all changed his ways because Ethan Hawke bashed it. But he's like, but the writing in this movie is so great. They all say the writing changed their mind.
Yeah. What superhero would you guys be if they offered you the position?
I like Green Lantern. He could just create stuff just at the thing of it. But, man, I feel like, I'm a superhero myself. So I'm just walking my walk, still becoming myself,
Here you go. Eric, what are you going to be? Superman? Wonder Woman?
It'd be kind of cool, right? If you think about it. Don't make fun of it. Look at Shazam. Look at Shazam. He's a god when he's Shazam, but he can make himself a regular person. Nobody knows who you are, and then you go Shazam. You become that god Superman type person. So you have a regular life when you want it.
Yes.
You have a superhero life. So why not be Shazam?
Yeah, you'd be yeah. I'll be Thor. I want to be Thor. I got a beard. I don't have to worry about like shaving. I can just keep the beard. People say, why would you do that? Because I don't have to shave. I'm not shaving for any part.
Underdog.
Underdog. Yes.
And for the people that didn't see the breaking news, Squatching Cowboys got an awesome little short film, and Eric and I make a little appearance, and Dr. Wu is on Gypsy Road. So all three of us make an appearance on the door. There's a wanted sign for me they still can come and get it.
And your
Come on,
picture's on it, too.
$500. I
Your picture's
dare
on
him to come out this way. And then some Gypsy Road whiskey. So drink up, everybody. But before it gets too far back in chat, Preliminal said 1985, I'm pretty sure the year is, but Brazil is an awesome freaking movie. Terry Gilliam, Robert De Niro. I always remember his part. He talks about how there's always too much paperwork. Oh, man. And it's just a false reality that we're all living in. And I actually mentioned, Terry Gilliam and the Zero Theorem on UFO Garage. So it's crazy how it all really comes together.
Yeah, it's all looped together. It's kind of weird. Everything's connected. Everything. It's connected. How about Donnie Darko? Anybody? Donnie Darko.
Armpits?
That was mentioned on the show too. Of
Yes.
course. The Easter Bunny and the one that comes in your mind.
And Captain America when Jack Kirby did the story. You know what? I don't want to be Captain America because the guy can't. If the guy drinks a beer or alcohol, he can't feel nothing because it just goes right through his body because his body generates.
Yeah, he can't have a beer.
So he can't even have a beer. I mean,
he can't have a cigarette. He can't. Well, don't smoke, but he can't have any marijuana. He can't eat a brownie. He can't have anything other than his own. I mean, but that's Captain America. He's A-OK, number one, pure sober, chastity, the 9 yards, everything. You know, the perfect person, I guess.
Well, the problem is he already was a good person. So if we go through that same experiment, we might not come out like him, Bob.
True.
You know, our personality would be on the forefront. And who knows what that is?
I know, right? Give me those shots. Who's to say we haven't already had them, Eric? We're abductees. We're experiencers. They could have already given us the shots, all three of us.
Witnesses.
Oh, Bob, I don't know if you watched Peacemaker.
Oh,
The
you kidding me?
Episode.
I love Peacemaker.
When the Justice League fucking showed up.
Oh,
Peacemaker! I laughed my head off when he turned around and goes, "Stop fucking fish!"
I love Peacemaker.
And Aquaman goes, "I hate that fucking rumor," and then Flash goes, "It's not a rumor."
I actually went through a small bit of depression. There aren't any good shows. There are maybe some. You know, we talk about it. We try to show. You know, oh my God, Eric, that show is the best.
Fucking awesome.
I mean, tell everybody about it one more time, so everyone knows that you gotta watch. Everyone's gotta watch it.
If you watch the Suicide Squad, the second one, the one that the guy got fired from Disney, the director, James Gunn.
Yes.
So at the end of the Suicide Squad, looks like he got killed, but not killed, but he ended up in the hospital in the extra scene. So in this one, it's a continuation from the Suicide Squad movie where instead of him going back to jail, he was put on a team, but he has to do this stuff for this team. But the movie goes fucking everywhere because you got butterflies to zombies, like zombie type people.
Everything. It's the best.
And then, I mean, when he's fucking that girl, then he's singing with that dildo, playing the choir boys. I mean, it
is so. It is old humor.
And the 80s stuff is so fun in the movie because he's like, this is when real men weren't afraid to be women.
Well, they did. They took the 80s. It was the 80s. It took the 80s montage, the 80s, the whole humor from the 80s.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. It's funny. It's all that. But it was also serious. It had motion.
Yeah, it did.
Like when Peacemaker couldn't shoot that political family. Yeah, and his buddy move over. And he gets on that gun. He starts singing, pow, pow. I mean,
and they're just like normal humans, but with superhero outfits on, having like normal difficult things. You know, it's like it's hilarious.
And his fucking bird. Oh, when that bird starts attacking people and grabbing their eyes out. And then the fucking father, Peacemaker's dad. Holy shit, the guy from the Terminator.
The White Dragon.
He played that white premises character so fucking badass.
Robert Patrick, he's made for that role.
But you know why it's good, Bob? This is why it's good. Because James Gunn wrote the whole series himself. He wrote it. Nobody else.
Oh, so
So
good.
it was his story. So it wasn't like, here's another writer, here's another writer, here's another writer.
It's simple.
He had a beginning and an ending.
Yeah, and it's basic, and it's simple, and it's basic for people to understand. And it's got old potty humor from the 80s. It is what it is. If you guys are into old potty humor and stuff. But it's just good. It's like, oh, what a refreshing show. I literally got depressed when it was, come on, one more episode. No, they're all gone. Oh, man.
I don't know if this is a big deal, but Disney Plus kind of going to a whole new level now.
Oh,
What I mean is they took the shows off, the Daredevil, the Punishers, and all that. They took it off of Netflix. They are actually adding it to Disney Plus with parental advisory. I mean, those Daredevil, that's hardcore. That's almost like the Punisher without not the Punisher.
I know.
Peacemaker without the comedy. There's blood in it, and Disney. I'm like, that's a balls for them to do that.
I know.
It's
Disney
a family
Plus
style thing.
They're
Sometimes
bringing
I think
in
it's too family, but
yeah.
they're actually going to start rebroadcasting it on Disney Plus. With parental advisory.
They're going to be the
Big
go
step.
place for all superhero movies. That's going to be the go channel. They're trying to get all of them. They're trying to get all the superhero movies. Anybody from any Marvel universe, DC, whatever, all the different.
Well, I think Disney also saw that Peacemaker was actually the #1 show worldwide. They're saying like people love rated, not rated R necessary, but they can go any limits.
Yes,
They're not. It's not off limits to nothing.
Yeah,
And they're like, wow, that Peacemaker outbeat Boba Fett.
I didn't know that.
It outbeat it. I mean,
I couldn't stop. I was excited every week. It made me excited. I couldn't wait to watch the episodes, man. I'm like, no, don't tell me it's over. How long do I have to wait? I guess
I know. I want it more.
It pushes the barrier of existence. While Boba Fett, was a filler episode the whole season. It always just played a safe storybook tale. People want to test their boundaries. That's why shows like The Umbrella Academy and The Boys, how it shows kind of like a different side of these superheroes. I think that's kind of taking a more, futuristic approach, kind of like how Eternals was a lot different vibe than the Marvel, spit outs. I definitely got to finish the second half of Peacemaker. I've been on a TV show binge too of 3 shows. The Resident Alien, which is awesome. The Alien definitely looks really scary. It's freaking hilarious too. And I don't know, it's just a good vibe show that has a couple truths in it. Wellington Paranormal. It's a New Zealand show. Also has the connection to Taika Waititi, the guy that made Jojo Rabbit and Thor Ragnarok, and Jermaine Clement is the main guy. He's in that same camp, but it's basically Reno 911 of paranormal police officers over in the Kiwi Islands, and it's so freaking funny, and every episode is like one case.
What's it called?
I'm not sure what channel it's on because it's New Zealand, but you can find it online. Episodes are like 21 minutes. The Bigfoot episode is in like season 3, but season 4 is live right now. And then a really cool show that I've been into. I think I mentioned it on UFO podcast, maybe even here. I don't know. It all blends together. But From. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I think I did. From FROM, and it's on Epix, and it has the main character is Harold Perrineau, the black dude from The Matrix, who is the coding guy, and then he's also in Lost. He plays Michael, who is Walt's dad. He's a freaking awesome actor, but it's a town that you drive into and you can't get out, and then there's these monsters that they show up as your loved ones. And then they turn into like a rake crawler, and then they eat you alive. Really crazy. It's a great show, and it's 4 episodes in.
I want to thank Pincer. He says it's on HBO Max, and I have that. Ethics I don't have. Maybe I'll subscribe.
Or
like,
is it? Okay, what's it called again? Wellington Paranormal. I'm gonna watch it. So
It
Wellington
is
Paranormal.
the funniest show, and it has great knowledge. Every single episode is a different paranormal topic, and I'm just still trying to catch up, so it's live episodes. But yeah, the Kiwi Islands is hilarious, man.
I'm gonna watch it.
Werewolves, robots, zombies. It tackles all of them, and it's so stupid and so funny and so genius.
All epic shows are on Hulu. That's true. That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna watch
I don't
that
know
one.
anybody cares about this show. Me, Cicely, my wife, we just finished watching American Rust on Showtime. It's kind of a dark murder kind of a show up in Pennsylvania, like how the towns of Pennsylvania, that kind of a blue collar killing.
Aha.
Yeah, the cop has a history. Everybody has a history, you know. But But we're getting close to the end here, so let's find out what's all going on now. Tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow night, the live show is tonight. Of course, if you're here, you know that. But tomorrow, I will do the breaking news. I actually already have it set up. I'll do tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. So whatever time frame you're in, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then, of course, Thursday, breaking news. Spooky Morale is going to jump on as one of the hosts for the breaking news on Thursday. Spooky Morale is a good guy. He's an awesome guy. He's always on Chad's podcast channel. He's going to be on the breaking news on Thursday. And I know, Connor, what channel you're going on tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah.
Yes, tomorrow I'm going to be on Squatch in South Florida. We're doing a UFO panel, and Chaz of the Dead is actually going to be on there too. So I'm super excited. Matt was actually on Bigfoot Odyssey tonight doing Drawing Bigfoot. So I'm probably going to turn that on after this. I'm super excited to watch that. Hopefully his channel has doubled in depth. I'm super proud of him as a fellow researcher and as a bro. Saturday, I'm going to be on Oracle of the South with Jessica Jones. She is so freaking cool. We've researched some of the same areas. She is a trailblazer. She is definitely awesome. Just inspiration to me and other, just especially females, as just bold, brave, just be a person. You know, that's why I want everybody in this war on gender. Be a man, be a woman, be yourself, be a loud, proud person, and the rest will definitely fall into place. But I have a lot more excavations and expeditions signed up. I've been really busy with the Apalachicola National Forest and Tate's Hell State Forest. And guys, let's all send our thoughts and prayers to Blue-Eyed Northern, Pat. She's an awesome soul. She was always in the chats. She's down on her health right now. She's up in Ohio. So if you guys can send your positive thoughts to her, Joe Parker, and of course, close friends, Squatching Cowboy and Flat Rock. We were actually all supposed to go up to Flat Rock Booger's house and camp out, but plans kind of fell through just because Pat is under the weather, and she is the heart to all of us. When she was camping with us in Tennessee, she looked after all of us, and she definitely has a connection with the Sasquatch. So I hope she heals up. She's got that Buckeye blood in her, so I know that she'll be fighting strong. And just everybody, you know, send your positive thoughts. And even if you don't know the person positive, you know, personally, positivity spreads, man. And we are all water. And when you speak positive to water, it thrives. When you speak negative, you know, it gets moldy. But just even addressing it and having the awareness will go a long way. So I definitely special shout out to Joe Pass. Thank you for spreading the awareness. And Joe Parker, please hold it down for Sweet Pat.
And if any of you who just came in during the last hour, you got to go back and watch the first hour when we had our guest on talking about dreams. I think the questions were awesome. People in the chat asked good questions, and I think she answered them just 100% perfectly.
Great show. Yeah.
I'm
doing one tomorrow. I'm doing one tomorrow night. Tomorrow in the daytime, I have to go to a reservation with a bunch of natives. No joke. But I'm going to score, so I'm going to be happy about tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to score and some really good scoring. So I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow night. about 7:00 California time.
When I'm watching the Batman. Perfect.
Yeah, we were watching the Batman. Yeah. I'm gonna be trying to bring some stuff up about uniform changes. A lot of significant, weird uniform changes that people might not remember, like they used to be like. And I'm like, wait. So I'm gonna bring up a little panel, like bring up pictures and shit, and point out, like, do you guys remember this? Do you remember this? Kind of stuff like that.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Well, beyond that, guys, I want to say thank you guys for showing up tonight. It was fun. Beyond that, we'll see you guys next time.